Throw Gang, we are joined by Liquidator Larry, Lauren Schlossman, and myself, the Baron of the Bins, James Harris. Welcome to the weekly Running of the Boys. With today's full episode, only available on
Patreon.com/throwingfits. Everything must go.
Before we get into Bazaar highlights, reviewing Scarr's new sushi spot, and our beef with Portnoy's back.
Back on.
Let's get into a fit check.
All right, why don't you start us off, bro?
Okay, upstairs, I was wearing Oakley Factory Team water shoes, the ugliest, best shoes in the motherfucking game because it is a bit drizzly out. I wasn't wearing socks, but I am now. Levi's silver tabs that I copped off a homie in Hawaii that came creased. Which
Hawaii.
I didn't realize. Yeah, damn. So when I was ironing them out, I accidentally undid the crease, but whatever.
Yeah, I love just a good pair of creased denim.
I know.
Starched and creased.
I feel like OJ the Juice Man. Hey! Hey! Make the silver tabs say, hey! A Shohei Ohtani Japan World Baseball Classic T-shirt, courtesy of my mom's, and a Our Legacy Workshop Stussy big old beach.
Is that a? Can I ask you a question? Because
Yeah.
this is such a mom thing. If this plays out how I expect it to, is that like a medium?
I think so.
Yeah, that's like such a mom thing. Buying one size too small for the size you actually are. My mom does it all the time. Like at my fattest, she'd be like, "Happy birthday! Here's a black T-shirt from Suit Supply, size medium." I'm like, it's the thought that counts. But what kind of body dysmorphia do moms have for their sons?
No, in
dude?
your mom's head, you're still like 18, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not just emotionally and you know, mentally, but also physically, I guess.
Now I'm gonna be getting size XS, dude. Extra twinked up in mommy's eyes.
Yeah, has your mom commented on your weight loss? And
Every single time, and Jenna is getting so sick of it, dude.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying because she's like, "Yeah, I'm on pills, mom. I'm just
no,
my eating disorder."
She doesn't know that.
Oh, the pills are gone.
They don't even know about like the 1 meal a day thing. We've just been hitting them with the intermittent fasting because I feel like that's like completely over their heads, but not to the point where they would be then nervous for my well-being, which
they should be.
Which they absolutely should. I'm gonna disappear.
You see how many people in the Discord were like, "Wow, actually, after hearing Lawrence's routine in detail, I'm kind of concerned for his like organs failing him."
Yeah. With that said, everyone was really sweet at the Bazaar and was like, "Oh,
we'll get
damn,
into that,
dude, you look good."
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Okay. Our Legacy Workshop Stussy. I think this is from the first or second round of collabs.
That's a borrowed shirt. Is that what that's called?
No, this is even bigger than a borrowed. I think it's I don't know. Whatever.
Something borrowed, something bigger.
And then the only thing I was able to scoop up at the Bazaar because we were so busy slanging and thanging that shout out Rob from Stussy. I was just like, he still had a bunch of shit out when I was like taking one last piss, and then he's like, I was like, oh shit, like how much? He's like, just take it,
nice,
just take it.
Yeah.
Forgot to wear all my jewels. Maria Tash in the ear. Sipping on Greenpoint's finest. Already drank my Diet Pepsi. Lawrence, what are you wearing?
What about your panties?
Oh, Hanes boxers.
Okay. I wore camions to the crib. I have on Manresa socks. I'm wearing vintage Levi's 501s. I have on a Hanes Pleaser, Metalwood Studios, Western Belt. Happy 1 year anniversary to Maddie Matheson and Rosa Rogusa. So I got the money green on because, you know, the boys just made out like motherfucking band. Beat those at the Bazaar. Thank you very much to you.
You know how I chose to celebrate Rosa Rogusa's 1 year? Selling it at the Bazaar.
Oh.
For a clean 100? I don't know.
Really? The set?
Just the shirt. I think I kept the pants.
Well, someone else out there can really go, wait, do we have the same thing?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Clones.
Do you not, like, yeah.
No, I don't. I remember we wore it, like, one time together, like, right after it launched to shout out our boy, but I didn't remember.
No, your tunnel vision, again, I don't know if it's, like, your eyeballs failing as your nutrition just as you wither away.
Yeah.
But you have horse blinders on when it comes to what other people wear. So, like, you don't know what other people have. It's cool.
If anything, I feel like I'm acutely aware of what everyone wears, including my work husband. Okay, 316 wife collab Western, rollie on the wrist, wedding ring on the fingy, wifey on the pinky, and because you and I just had a goated weekend, I got Brady brand on the cock and balls. From two goats to another. We'll see you in the fucking rafters. We'll see you in the Hall of Fame. Sipping on a hydro flask full of Greenpoint's finest to try to fucking find my level.
Did the Patriots went back-to-back, right? Did they three-peat?
Did they actually ever go back-to-back?
Well, we went back-to-back.
That's
like
so
Jordan.
hard to do in football. I mean, we
went back-to-back like Jordan 96, 97.
Woo!
All right, fit check, drink check complete. Wow. Let's talk about the Throwing Fits Friends and Family Bazaar, bankrolled by Cash App, made entirely possible by Cash App. God damn, bro.
Made possible by a lot of individuals.
Sure, but bankrolled by
Cash
App. Wow, this has been okay. First, take it back. Rewind it. This has been we've been working on this for, I don't know how long. When Grace first kind of hit up the throwingfitspod@gmail email address, just like, oi, what's your rate card? I'm just like, what the fuck is that? Let's just work on the Bazaar together.
Shout out Grace. I think it was, this has been 6 or 8 months in the works.
Let's work on the Bazaar.
Bazaar.
Oh, what's your favorite Bazaar? Shout out Isaac for hitting me with that while I had fucking lavender cum on my lip.
I was going to say, dude, you look like someone that just busted on your visage.
He asked me, he's like, is it cool that it looks like someone just nutted in your mouth? And I said, yes, it's fine. But that was Bazaar brain. Like, now in the clear, cold light of day, I would have been like,
dude.
Isaac, can we just like try and run it back? But anyway, that would have been inauthentic. And if anything is true about the Bazaar is that inauthenticity can suck a dick up till a hiccup.
Real
just like
shit
it looked like
only.
I did when I had labna over my maw.
Do you want to talk food right off the top?
No, I don't.
Okay.
What a fucking day. So, again, thank you guys, everyone that came out.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you to the contest winners that flew out. Great to meet you guys.
Hell yeah.
Thank you to all the vendors. Huge thanks all around. Feeling very appreciative and, like, wistful this morning.
I feel like
this
I'm
day.
glowing with graciousness and gratitude, dude. It was, last year was awesome, and, nothing can ever, listen, man, you always remember your first, right? But this was bigger, better, like we've been saying, bankrolled by Cash App. Honestly, I feel like we nailed the venue. We nailed the amount of vendors, the actual vendors. We nailed all the food, the bev. Like, it was, bro, it was a perfect fucking Saturday, dude.
Perfect day. Drink sangria in the park. Is that the outro? The read? Last year was like, I think that it blew us away in just that we had zero expectations, right? I think we were like, oh yeah, I think like 300 people show up and like over 1,000 of that plus that like showed up. This year it was like more, all right, how do we meet and exceed expectations
and fix the pain points from last year?
Yeah. Let's have bathrooms and mirrors this time.
And let's try to like eliminate this line a bit.
Did anyone go to the dressing rooms though? Were they
I was holding on to I almost fucking walked away with the guy's ID because he like forgot that I had it, and I was hammered, so I forgot that I had it.
Yeah.
Luckily he came back because the last thing I wanted was to hold on to some poor New Jerseyan's ID. But yeah, I was doing a lot of collateral for fitting room type exchanges.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it. I mean, just like the highlights, right off the bat, again, just getting in there early, 8:30, 9 a.m., day of, like trying to rest up the night before. Again, this is coming at the ass end of like 2 weeks, just nonstop being fucking outside, being out there. She doesn't ever stop.
Being outside and like working ourselves to the motherfucking bone because we had our own like Fashion Week party. We had the normal fucking workload that we have week to week, and then it was like
it was actually even more, I would say, because so many people are in town. Yeah. That I don't know if we're on the paywall. Well, it's only 8 minutes in. Damn.
We should slow down, dude.
I don't know.
Slow it down. Right, like Lou Reed. Let's get strung out for a bit.
Let's DJ screw this. I don't know if we're behind the paywall, but yeah, so like mad people are in town, so it's like, yo, let's pod while you're in town because you're never. We got to catch you while you're here. So it was a fucking hectic few weeks, capped off by this, which again was like slow going for 6 months, and then in the last week just fucking blast off.
Let's have a little check-in call daily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, instead of a weekly. But setting up was great. Like I think like there was maybe some initial hiccups with or wires crossed on some of the producers, some of the vendors on the production side just like didn't show up for a few hours.
The seating chart also was a bit that should have been like a Paramount thing that everyone had access to, and I thought we provided it, but people were confused.
No, we did.
They were they were a bit confused about where to.
And to be fair, we were like
where to set up.
To be fair, we were like, no, we're dealing with absolute degenerates.
Yeah.
As the vendors here, obviously all homies, but it's like, come on, these guys, they're not email guys,
The award for latest arrival, No Lead a Dirtbag, Alex Hartman, did he show up at 11 a.m.? Like on the dot when doors actually open to the public?
I think even later.
He texted you at like, what, 10:30? Oh, no, I overslept.
Like, I overslept. I'm like, okay.
First day of school nightmare vibes.
I know. Luckily, he only had a few things to sell, but... at 10:50.
He's giving away free cigarettes.
At 10:50, so doors at 11
to
the pink card holders, and then GA at 12. 10:50, and not to be my fucking Zach B shit, which, by the way...
Yeah, what?
You know how you're always like, I don't want to put private correspondence out there.
Yeah. I'm a hypocrite. Did I tell you we had a nice little follow-up? And
I don't fucking care. I don't think anyone does.
I was going to say he wants to vindicate himself by next time we're in L.A., he wants to do the pod in the back booth at the Nice Guy on his turf. Shout out Zach, dude. What a nice guy.
It was funny that
I think I hurt his feelings.
It was funny that we got seated at a dinner next to his publicist.
Oh, that was hilarious. He was not even remotely familiar with the clip or the story.
I know, but you were a few in, and you're just like, "Hey, man, like, let me tell you about this
I like alluded to it. Also, by the way, like the audience is so savage in that like that clip exists so that I can be the butt of the joke.
All right,
and here we are.
Let's just stop talking about it because. But Hartman said
you brought it up.
I way overslept. On my way now. LOL. And then I said at 11:45, where you at? You good? Not like where you at, like not like yelling. Just yo, are you okay? Like, do you need anything?
Alive?
I'm setting up in the back, and no. But
I did love his free cig.
Oh, genius, bro! I mean,
awesome.
he's a
shout out Hestia.
Shout out Dirtbag Industries. I mean, that's why people pay him the small bucks, right? He has like
truly
the goat marketing activation ideas.
Just free cigs.
Yeah.
My dream.
I'm pretty sure I made the first sale, and not only was it the first sale of the Bazaar, but it was honestly a highlight of my day.
Yeah.
Where kind of like when that happened, I was like, all right, like all nerves settled, all butterflies gone. Like we're gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also, when you're unpacking shit, it's kind of like a dick measuring contest in some ways where it's like, is my shit good enough? Everyone's like, yo, I should have brought more. I should have brought more. I should have brought more heat.
I brought way too much.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you made out pretty well.
Yep. I think I got the #1 spot again, but it's not about the money.
It's not about the money.
It's not about the money.
It's about the money, but it's not about the money.
It's a little bit about the money, but it's more than that.
It's
about the people.
Mostly about
the money, but the people, money and people.
Yeah.
And
the time, but time is money.
What's Lil Wayne? I'm from New Orleans, where money's more important than a person.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Honestly, fucking goat, brutal line. That really kind of sums up the trauma that you experience in the inner cities.
Absolutely.
From my experience.
Absolutely.
From the hard cul-de-sacs of Mahwah, New Jersey.
Cul-de-sac Bia. Absolutely.
Wait. So there's dick measuring contest, and you pulled out your grail.
Well, one of the most fun things was, I mean, I don't know what your process was, but I was like, let me just get everything on hangers up and then merchandise.
Oh, no, I was merchandising.
You're merchandising as you went, which I was like, I think that's just because I don't even know what I have because I packed shit up like furiously over the last like 5 weeks. So I put up the dip skate tee,
iconic,
which absolute grail, copped on eBay for like $20, like literally 10 years ago.
What is that, a size like XXX?
It's a double XL.
Okay.
But double XL from like the tall tee era, so it's like now it's like a quintuple XL.
Can you just real quickly explain that Dip Skate is not the Dipset skateboarding team? It's in fact a different extreme sport.
Well, I don't have to because you just explained it, but it is.
Well, no, it's for the.
All right, I can say one word. It's the inline skate team. Dipset actually had an inline skate team back in the fucking I don't know
aughts,
the naughty aughties. Anyway, I was getting some interest. Like Luke Frazier on IG was like, "Yo, let me get that fucking varsity LA. The homies out there." They were like, wow. I need to send a proxy for that. I'm like, bro, like you don't have New York shooters? I know you do. Yeah. Come on. Or just fucking fly out.
You don't have any New York skaters to skate on through?
Or just enter the pink card contest and get flowed out. But I got a bidding war between Kaytraminé and Luke.
Kaytraminé is the only guy that I was like, he's going to come to the Bazaar and leave with more shit than when he arrived with his fucking hoarding ass, dude.
I think that he had Buford in the cut just so he could like run around and shop.
Absolutely.
But also his booth was like fucking getting active all day. Anyway, Luke and John had a bidding war like on site, and I felt very like validated that these two guys with like a serious eye for ephemeral history and like weird fucking esoteric like
real hip
hyper niche real hip hop shit were like going back and forth on my auctioneer shit.
Who won?
Luke.
Oh, wow.
He's gonna get it tailored.
Oh,
he's like, this is literally the. He goes, this is literally the only T-shirt I'm ever going to get tailored. It's not going to the shop. He's like, I'm keeping this for me.
Damn, we got to send him to Wazee and tailor this fucking dip skate tall tee. Get it hemmed expertly. I need a 2-inch cuff on my dip skate fucking tall tee, dude.
Yeah, he scooped it up for a cool $150. This
not
is
bad.
Before doors open, so I felt good. I feel like that like set a nice tone for the day.
Yeah.
And then it was just off to the races.
Mayhem.
Absolutely packed. Not too packed.
No.
In a good way. And there were a few times where because at the door, I think they were trying to like control the flow so it wasn't like too crowded. But there are a few times where I'm like, yo, we could like I'd rather people be in here than out waiting online. Like open the fucking gates, let's go.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think there was like there was a line for sure. And like for me, when I was setting up, popping out for a smoke break, being like, oh damn, like people did line up early, like literally not like camping out, but I was like, oh, this is fucking pretty cool. And then doors open, and I felt like there was a good flow all day. Listen. I think now that this has been established as like the premier men's shopping event now 2 years back to back, as we said, and it's going to only continue in perpetuity. Like, there's going to be some semblance of a line because of just the fucking hunger and thirst for grails and Johns and steals and deals and automobiles. But yeah, if you didn't get your pink card, you didn't have the fucking fast VIP and lane access, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah,
to be honest.
there was a lot of like, oh, how do we alleviate? It's like, yo, you snooze, you lose.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
that's
sorry,
just
guys.
the hard truth in life.
Yeah.
You snooze, you lose. Although, yeah, there were a few homies where they were like, oh, I saw the line, didn't want to wait, but like the line was moving at a nice clip. But anyway,
yeah. Speaking of first sales of the day, and free cigs, dude. Shout out my boy Trevor Hawk Smith, Trevor Smith Hawk. Either way, from the fucking Dakotas, dude.
you flew in.
Yeah, Coppers of the Killer Johns, bro. He was in the fucking booth. He gave me fucking a gift, a pack of Japanese Marlboro Lights.
Oh, that's
with
right.
the carbon filters, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, absolutely fucking clean and mean on a pole, dude.
You
So
were you were crowing about those all day.
They were fucking.
That was your highlight.
fantastic.
Was getting free cigs.
Yeah, you know how we've talked before about like whether it's a block party or Bazaar, we're like, listen, at a thing like this, like don't like bring us, like don't bring me like a tea, don't bring like a tote. We appreciate the generosity, but like, you know, we're trying to be nimble at these kind of events. There's a lot of fucking babies to shake, a lot of hands to kiss. But with that said, I will always take, obviously, a pair of rare fucking Asian cigs any day.
A pair? A pack.
A pack, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than just two, if possible. That would be my preference.
You
But
went
yeah.
with the name your price.
But he was my first customer of
cool.
the day, which
What'd
was
he buy?
awesome. Well, he came back like 4 times. He got some fucking New Balances. He bought a fucking Needle 7 cut. He bought Magic.
Was he okay? There were some repeat customers where they're like,
I love that.
"Yo, I'm back. So like, can you give me a repeat customer discount?"
Oh no!
And at
Hell
first I
no.
was like,
What?
Sure, $10 lower. And then it kept happening. I'm like, no, like
If you're
just buy,
here,
just buy it now.
if you're here, your family, and if you're here, you're already getting the discount.
Yeah.
My thing, you know, that's so funny going, like, when I did my whole Mr. Name Your Price, like, people, I think, took it as a joke, and a lot of people were caught off guard, and that game is always so funny because it really is a 50-50 split. 50% of the time, it's going to be a low ball, and I'm going to work with you because, again, everything must go. And then the other 50% of the time that almost completely kind of counters it out is then people just fucking highball because they're nervous and they don't want to hurt my feelings. And I'm like, I'm telling people, like, they say, oh, 60 for this. I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, damn, he's going to ask me double. I'm like, no, 50, less.
Wait, you're negotiating
Yeah.
against yourself?
I negotiate against myself, like, at least on 25% of the purchases.
Nice.
Because I'm a man of the people, dude.
Yeah.
I have a fucking, you know, title and moniker to fucking live up to.
One thing I did last year where I try not to repeat this year was like really like everything priced to go. Where eventually, we got there. Where like in the last hour when I only had like 10 things left on the racks, I was like, $20, just take it. Just take it.
Are you giving stuff away for free? Because that's what I'm doing. Like, if you just linger towards the end
I
of
was
the day.
giving shorts away.
Yeah,
I was giving shorts away for free if people bought like a significant amount. I was just take a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
Or if they're like, oh, I have, you know, oh, it's 40, I only have, or it's 50, I only have 60. And it's like, all right, just take a $10 thing. Like, just take it. Well,
absolutely.
obviously. But I tried to, with like the heavy hitters, like tried to keep like a healthy price at first. Because also like people would, early in the day would be like, nah. And then they'd come back and be like, hey, is it still there? I'm like, no, it's sold.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, guy.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm
that
sorry
happened to a
that
few people
120
too.
was a little too rich for your blood, but
Yeah.
I think like my highest price item that sold was $250.
Oh,
But everything else was like 50.
You're playing in a different ball game than me. Unlike last year, like I was just like, again, I wanted to, if the first person who saw something that caught their eye, what is it worth to you? I want to get it in the hands of someone who wants it. I want to find it a good home, fucking adopt a John type shit. And I think that I hurt myself by just really fucking, I probably sold, a third more than I sold last year, but I basically made the same amount of money because, again, I was just being so generous.
Was there anything you
I'm
sold?
such a nice guy. Holy fuck.
I know, right? Was there anything? You're like Zach B, such a nice guy. Was there anything you sold where you're like, oh, fuck, I wish I hadn't let go of that one?
Some outerwear for sure. There was a Stone Island Shadow Project jacket. That's then obviously R.I.P. Shadow Project. I don't know if that's like. Do people know that yet? I don't know.
Whatever.
Well, now you know. So that shit is now like a fucking relic of fucking
Oh, is that what you sold to Robbie?
No, I gave Robbie that free Stone thing
Okay.
because I was like, well, this.
You're like you're very thin. You look cold. Here, put this on.
Yeah, you chilly little boy. No, I'm like, yo, are you gonna wear this? He's like, fuck yeah. I'm like, all right, the badge is yours. Also, like, having him and Chuck like post up and represent us to the
best.
fucking fullest was
Yo,
great.
shout
So-
out Max, who has
Dude.
been has joined the social, the meme team, and he was in from Boston, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna come by. I'm like, do you want to make some money and just like be our personal fucking gopher for the day?
Yeah.
Our shooter,
Runner.
He would just mainly hold down the booth while you smoked.
Yep. My runner, my man.
And then help us get. He got me a lamb kebab from the Mongol 3000 dudes, which is like underneath Leo here in Williamsburg, and then just get you beers. There's a moment I was like, I snapped you. I don't know if you heard me. But you're like, oh, Max, and I'll do another Pilsner. I was like, dude, don't talk to him like that.
What?
I said that to you. I was like, don't treat him like that.
I don't remember that at all. I'm sure I was fucking extremely polite. The way that Max...
You said, no. You said, all right, I'm back. And, yo, I'll do another Pilsner.
Right,
I'm just like, bro, don't
Once
talk
I
to him
started
like that.
drinking at, like, I think 11:30, the plan with Max was, okay, I have a dart. You hold down the booth. Make sure no one steals anything. Though, yo, can I just say, I got fucking robbed, bro.
Oh, shut up.
The way I had my sunglasses,
they just named their price as $0.
No, yeah, right, exactly. Whenever Max would come and hold down the booth, my whole joke was, all right, Max, my fucking, he's gooned up, dude. Don't try to fucking steal from me because he's going to fucking beat your ass. Anyway,
he's a big boy.
All the sunglasses were on the table, and I had a ton of pairs, but then all the requisite cases were in a tote. So when you bought the sunglasses, I got your case, fucking packed you up, and sent you on your merry way. I had a pair of fucking crap fucking like speedrunner type shades. Someone just fucking walked out.
Yeah, bro.
Got the case, got no sunglasses. So if anyone sees anybody in Dime Square wearing some fucking fire silver crap eyewear that I will be wearing in SpawnCon on Grid later this month, beat their ass because they robbed your boy. But anyway,
they definitely robbed from you and didn't buy themselves.
The Max thing was, okay, I go smoke, you hold down the booth, make sure no one steals anything. I come back, you get me an Ebbs, and then we repeat this process every 25 minutes.
All right,
It was a good flow. We worked out a system, and he got paid for it.
Yeah,
and I was polite. Don't let this guy fucking tell you otherwise.
You said that, and in my
please, sir, another Pilsner.
In my dream gate, in my 10 things I love, 10 things I hate. One of the things I hate is people that go, oh yeah, I'll do the steak.
So it was more of
Fucking
just my choice of words. Not that I didn't say please. I'll please.
Well, I'm sure
do
you said
another
please.
Pilsner.
Like, oh Max, and I'll do another Pilsner, please, which is still, I don't know,
rude.
rude.
Mr. Armstrong, thank you for your service.
Okay. What else happened? The really only annoying thing for me is that it's like we're so busy wheeling and dealing, slanging and thanging that like I got set up right at 11 is like when I finished. It took me like the full 2 hours to like hang everything, set up the booth, clean up whatever. I had hoped to be able to shop a little bit before doors opened, or like if there's a lull in the crowd,
never gonna
in the flow to like check out at least like the booths in my immediate radius. Never got a single chance to peep the goods, the wares of the 19 other booths, which I was like very bummed about because it is a stellar lineup of fucking vintage Vikings, Grail gods, hoarder homies.
Yeah, and that's like shit. And that's this bizarre circular kind of economy where it's like you sell something, you get some money in your Cash App. Let me just go fucking recirculate that. Yeah. Keep the Bazaar fucking churning, bro. But yeah, I'm with you. Now fuck shopping, bro. I didn't even fucking have a single bite to eat. Now, obviously that's on me. You weren't because I was drinking and smoking instead and slanging.
Did you eat dinner that night?
Oh yeah, dude. I had a fucking feast for myself.
Oh, sick, dude.
But
so you got your one meal.
I got my one meal. But what I need from you is a full breakdown on fucking all the fucking delicious kebabs, brine time oysters, and then the fucking
the what?
Chat dog brine time, just like
pico. But
no, I'm not. I'm just using a little pun.
Word.
Brine time.
Cool. Last year we had Shies, right?
Yeah.
He unfortunately couldn't make it this year. So it was a bit like, all right, let's go do a little crazy with it. Shout out my boy Noop. He put me in touch with, through him I actually know all three of these vendors.
The plug.
The first one though was Joey from Leo here. They do the sourdough pizza in Williamsburg. And
a favorite spot of ours.
Their bagels have been going so crazy.
Apollo bagels.
That's actually probably going to become its own thing.
Woo!
And so he's like, yo, perfect timing. Because of that, I've been like R&Ding what the next like sub, like, and the throw-in is the sourdough, right? Sourdough pizza crust, sourdough bagels, sourdough pitas, or lafas rather, flatbread, with lamb skewers, mushroom skewers, and all the accompanying accoutrement, including the labna that looked like cum on my lip in Isaac's IG story. So fucking gas.
Yeah.
Like, he sent me a video, and anytime I sent that video around for people that were like, "Oh yeah, and here's what we want to do for food," to like the catch up people, they're just like, "Dude, like say less. Whatever he wants, we're paying for it."
Yeah. Really good, like whether it's burgers, dogs, or a kebab, a little doner kebab. Really good, like it's hand food, but it's like substantial and will keep you fueled to keep shopping all day.
The one
best of both.
The
worlds.
one ask I made for Max, because I wasn't just bossing him around, telling him to do me pilsners, was I was like, "Yo, can you please get me a lamb thing from Leo or Mongol 3000 outside?"
I'll do a lamb thing.
I was able to take 2 bites before I had to put it down and come back to it like 35 minutes later, and then it got like it was cold, but it was like congealed, a little sloppy, like all the flavors that kind of melded. So fucking good.
Hell yeah.
So good.
Damn.
I could have had like 6 of those.
I fucked up so bad. God
then I was outside just like making sure. I think like I had to go outside and like put out a fire outside or something and just make sure that. Oh no, I think I had to get Max. I don't know. Something was happening. I had to run outside, leave my booth, and I was like, "Oh, Pico Oysters, the homies from Long Island, the North Fork. They're here. They're shucking literally 1,000 oysters just all day. Homemade mignonette or in-house mignonette cocktail sauce. I scooped down 3 just in a huge rush.
You gulped.
Delicious.
Slurped.
It was brine time.
There we go. Thank you, sir.
They are like one of the. I think they're like one of the suppliers of like the better like upper tier oyster spots in the city.
So I'm assuming that's an East Coast oyster.
Yes, they are in Long
Are those
Island,
called
so yes.
Are those called Blue Points?
Blue Points are no, they weren't. I don't know if they're Blue Points. Blue Points is an oyster.
So I could be correct.
Sure, they could be Kumamotos. I don't know.
They're smaller or bigger. I literally didn't even see an oyster all day.
East Point or East Coast oysters are typically smaller than West Coast because the water's colder. So they're like sweeter and like more like tender.
Get those oysters a Stone Island sweater like Robbie.
These were a little big for East Coast, but they were fucking delicious. I mean, they were on the bigger side of like East Coast. They weren't like the really small ones.
Hell yeah, dude. So did you hit it with? So what did you do? Lemon, mignonette? Did they have like any Tabasco? What was?
They had all that, but I just did mignonette because I was in such a rush. And then like I had to. This was the sleeper, but I think they better fucking recognize how good this was. We brought in Chaat Dog, CHAAT.
Chaat.
And the dude was grilling up glizzies all day, and then topping them with like Indian chutneys, like chickpea crunchies, fried onions, some fucking sauces, some masalas, some chaat. Bro.
Hence Chaat Dog, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
There it is, yeah.
Dude, just looking at the pictures and like
that was so fucking good.
I really fucked up so bad.
That was, honestly, again, that's another thing where I could have like a dozen of them. Or 6. Half a dozen. Maybe a dozen.
So you had, you sampled all the vendors.
I wanted everything.
Damn, dude. Yeah.
It was so fucking good.
I was just, I was turbo off the fucking Japanese cigs and dude, I just love selling. Like, and shout out Sean Crawford, who did give me the name Liquidator Larry, or Larry's Liquidator. I don't remember how he exactly fucking named me, but yeah, dude, I do just love like posting up and just fucking meeting the fucking customers all day that, just completely forgot to, because even if like I'm on my 1 meal day regimen, like this is a special occasion, like I want to.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm just saying my mindset at a thing like this is I also like, it's a special occasion.
Well, your lizard brain is like, sig. Let's see, like you need to go smoke. You're not thinking food.
I need a glizzard brain. And remember to get a fucking Indian glizzy next time. Damn.
No, the food was food was low key, I think, a component of the Bazaar that I would love to like continue building out and like having fun with. I mean, just having
you have great taste, dude. You should be like programming that from start to finish.
Well, that's like, I mean, that's the boy Anoop helping, but also just like having a fucking just 1,000 raw oysters just getting chucked, like that's chic.
Yeah,
like,
and
that's a level up.
That shit looked like that shit was a fucking movie, dude. That shit was cinematic. It was the perfect storm, dude.
Yeah, and also people were just able to like hang out all day. Like, some of the best photos I think are in terms of like the vibes, just like people like sipping on Ebb, sipping on Honda, having a fucking lamb kebab, having some oysters, having a glizzy with all the chutney on it. It's just like people were legitimately hanging out there for like hours at a time.
Yeah,
which is the mark, which is how it should be. It shouldn't just be like come in, cop, bounce. Obviously, that's the main component of the Bazaar is to like do transactions around clothing. But speaking of like loving selling, the best part was like kind of being like, yo, do you know what this is? Oh, this is BBC Black.
Oh, okay.
This is when
education.
Pharrell, Mark McNary, and Cynthia Liu, who now does Cactus Plain Flea Market, were like triple collaborating on this inline BBC like upper. It was like elevated, but still kind of like street, but not like luxury. Everything was, I believe, it was all black.
So you're on your each one teach one shit. You were
Yeah,
fucking out here blogging IRL.
I mean, not only was I just, I mean, not it's a sales tactic, right? Because
Yeah,
then people are like, oh shit, I get to own a piece of history. But it is like,
What can I do to put you in a piece of menswear history today?
this girl like was looking at. This is the one thing that I was like, do I really want to get rid of this? I don't know. One is the Dipskate tee, but the other was a scissor tee.
Oh
Sip
yeah,
that
I
purple
saw
punch.
that. So good, dude. I
And
can't
this girl
believe you
was
let that go, bro.
This girl was like, yo, how much? And I tried to price it in a way where she would maybe like put
Right.
it down and then I could like stash it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said 100. I was like,
You fool.
I was like 100 because like it has a lot of sentimental attachment. Because I used to intern at Scissor for summer, and she goes, "I'm from the South. I need this done."
I know. You met your match, dude. A southern gangsta boo.
I know,
dude.
and I was like, "All right, let me just flick you up. Let me flick it up one last time,
Yeah, dude. That's
so
incredible.
I can see it go."
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of good shit. I wish you and I both had more time to shop, more time to eat, more time to chill. Will you acknowledge that I was correct in that it was a smart move to up the bevy numbies? Because I was worried that the hangout factor, I think it's a double-edged sword, because the more people like linger and spend all day there, not only is that, like you said, the number one stamp of approval and sign for a good bazaar, but it also then doesn't help even remotely in aiding in turnovers, so we can get that churn going. But I do think that it was the perfect amount of bevies, and I want to give myself credit. I was like, we're gonna need more cans. We're gonna need a bigger cooler.
There's a lot left over, so
Okay,
not
maybe
necessarily.
Not. Where did those go?
I think Starkman, and shout out Starkman, by the way, for just like being
producing the
best
shit out of
production
this.
team. And shout out Brooks, because I didn't need
Chloe,
Max.
Brooks, Laura, Ariella.
I didn't need Max to do me pilsners, because Brooks would just come by and be like, "Yo, you want a pilsner or Kolsch?" I'm like, "All right, I'll take one."
I don't
one.
like this narrative that
Dude, I'm sorry, but
that
I didn't like it
I'm
either.
just bossing people around to get me
I
beers, dude.
didn't like it either, dude.
That did not happen, bro.
Yes, I saw something and I said something. I said, "Don't talk to him like that," and you didn't hear me because you were too busy selling something for $10.
Oh, another great thing that I have to give you credit for is the bin is a great move, where it's like, yo, the tees and shorts, like stuff, just in a bin, that's 10 bones. Like, for the most part, it's like, yo, just, and let people rummage around. We're not merchandising that. Make a mess, get sloppy, get in the mud,
all the
sniff around
shorts,
like a truffle pig, and
all the
name
shorts
your
sold
price.
out.
Oh, yeah?
All the shorts sold
You
out.
said you gave some away for
I gave
free.
away maybe like 5 if people made like a big order. And
any
then
rare colors, or just all the most recent shit?
more like purple.
Woo! Scissor!
A lot of
shorts.
Nickelodeon Slimer pack, like
Okay.
the greens, the slime greens, and the gritty oranges. Some real tree, but a lot of purple.
Yeah.
And a lot of green.
I like that. Damn. Well, shout out to everyone who got a piece of menswear history.
Some podcast history.
It was good that another highlight for me is Jenna came through with Georgie, and it was amazing to be able to then relieve Max, because then I had my manager there to fucking handle and hold
do
down
you
the
beers.
booth. And then again, to do me beers, and then literally my one piece of advice there is I said, do not sell anything. Because
Wait,
even if I'm going cheap, she has zero understanding, and literally, almost to spite me, would probably just be giving people too good of a deal.
Well, she's probably just trying to get shit out of the crib, right? So
Already,
she's like,
dude.
just take it.
Because
Just
if
take it.
it's not gone, it's coming back, and that's like her worst nightmare. But it was beautiful for people to flick up at Georgie.
Did Georgie get any sales for you?
I don't know. I think she definitely like drew people in. It was it was kind of similar to the advice that I gave to Sam Hine and Noah, which is set up a Sam Hine kissing booth. Buy a John, get to peck this beautiful twink on the lips.
Sam Hine was kissing all the fellas and all the ladies for sure.
Yeah, but I think Georgie using her cuteness was definitely bringing in, like, if a homie was there with their like SO, like the SO is like, oh, who's this little girl, and like coming in, and then like that the gravitational pull brings in the fucking boyfriend, then it's like, all right, time to fucking swipe the card or scan the QR code and pay up.
Yo, what can I do to put you in some crap?
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, but yeah,
My move was
it was a great day.
My move was they'd be like, how much? I'm like, for you, 50. For this, 40.
You screamed everything must go 1,000 times at the top of your lungs.
It was my only way I could communicate with Chuck.
Can I ask you, who was filming that video? What was that about?
What video?
There was the whole film crew.
Oh,
what is that, dude?
Bro.
I went on camera. I'm like, what is happening right now? Is this the local news?
No,
local
dude.
hypebeast news?
No, he's in the cord. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Well, now I sound like a dick. Yo, shout out to you, bro.
And he asked me ahead of time. He's like, hey, is it cool if I do this style interview there? Like, is having a camera going to be an issue? And can I do you and Lawrence? I'm like, yeah, it's not an issue, and like done. The only other question people had, somebody asked me, they're like, hey, are dogs okay? I'm like, yes. Like,
Was that
more?
Jenna, I think even because she was trying to get in touch with me, but I was too locked in with the horse blinders. I think she then texted you on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's fine.
Speaking of airing private correspondence, this might be a good one to read out. But
What, my
no,
wife
I think
texting you?
the Starkman people were like, "Hey, we never talked about this, but is it cool to let dogs in?"
There's
I'm
a
like,
lot
"Yes,
of dogs.
absolutely."
For all the dogs.
Because my husband cannot do more than one thing at once, he hasn't replied to my text. Last time dogs were inside the venue. I just realized just now that I have Georgie in the East Village. What if she's not let in? What do you think? I said, she's good in my hood, i.e. yes.
In God's house.
Larry said, text me when you're here and Max will get you. And I have little faith in that because I asked him about Georgie 30 minutes ago.
My bad. I was busy making money to put food on the table for that bitch and that other bitch.
For that bitch and Georgie.
For those bitches.
For all the bitches.
For those two bitches, dude. Yeah. Man.
Anyway, the Bazaar was
another
honestly
smashing success.
I just want to do it like, people are like, yo, do a holiday one. I'm like, I'm not going to have it closed by
or a road show. And also, it's like, yo, maybe we can just be like the hosts and like help co-produce because like, yeah, there's never gonna, if this goes on the road or becomes like, you know, who knows what the frequency could potentially be like. Yeah, there will never be
Honestly, like,
enough gear
not
from you and me at least.
Not being a seller could be an interesting tactic.
I would
where
love
it's just
that,
like,
to be honest.
Where it's like, all right, we make our money by, you know, with like the sponsor itself, and forego any money that we would make day of, and it's just like making sure everyone's good, interacting with people and engaging with people, you know, actually trying to like get a macro sense of what's going on. Because again, you and I, like, the only shit I saw was like my booth, your booth. I saw like Chuck. Whenever I saw Chuck, I just screamed, everything must go. And I saw Kaytraminé just fucking dishing out like rare rap teas.
You and I can't be across from
I saw Hugo just $1 million worth of Stussy.
Oh yeah. Well, you and I also, when you and I are across from each other, we thought that'd be like a nice kind of treat so you can like hit up the boys in like one full swoop. But I think that we create a bottleneck. I think we need to be broken up to some degree.
But see, I have no idea.
Then I can order around Max next time and not feel fucking guilty about it on the
I have
pod.
no idea if that's true.
Dude,
there's no way to know.
The biggest issue now I'm realizing, I think, is the size of the booth. Like, my shit would just be jam-packed. And not because, like, I have the best shit or I'm the fucking most generous guy, but it's just, like, at any of these booths, if there's 4 people shopping, now suddenly we don't have enough room to breathe. And that's not a good shopping experience. And then all my meticulous merchandising gets fucking lost to the hordes, bro.
I know. But, yeah, I would love to, obviously, just continue doing the Bazaar, thinking about how to level it up, not just for the sake of leveling up, but it is, like, you know, more sellers, more food options, make it more of a thing.
I mean,
but
it is
also
a
really
fucking
selfishly
thing,
giving us the chance to like shop it ourselves.
Yeah, no, for real. And you know what? Honestly, man, salute to us. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to me. Congratulations to everybody involved. Thank you to everyone who stopped by. I really think it's becoming like, is it our marquee thing now? I really think it kind of was already. And
it's
now
probably the coolest thing we do.
This is fucking, this cements it to me, you know?
Yeah.
Which, let me get 3 real quick. Bang!
After making a good amount of money for a day's work, and by day's work I mean 6 months' work, I decided to treat myself a little bit.
Oh yeah, tell me.
Go to a meal with my boy Anoop because you know he has impeccable taste. He's in the food world. We went to, or he hit me up. He's like, "Yo, you want to go to Scarr's new sushi spot?" I was like, "Oh
Which
shit!"
he talked about on the show with us.
Which he did confirm that it was going to be omakase on Throwing Fits, the only podcast about it. But no, everyone's talking about Portnoy. Blah, blah, blah. The real news is that he confirmed that the old Scarr's was going to become an omakase spot. He's going 50-50 with his partner, who's the chef there. And he's like, I'm kind of in charge of the vibes. He's in charge of the food.
Right.
That's the split. Immaculate to both. So Anoop and I went at we could have sat at 7:30, and then would have sat with Hugo, which like
for his second time in as many days, probably.
For his second time in as many days, because he was at the Friends and Family on Saturday, and then was at like night 1 on Sunday.
Support the homies.
I'm glad I didn't sit with Hugo, because then it would have turned into a whole fucking night.
Sure.
You know, he's the mayor of New York. He's the mayor of like the little Scarr's empire of Orchard Street. Sat down at 5:30. We were literally the second people to have ever be sat in that restaurant.
Oh, nice.
Besides Friends and Family.
So you don't have like your dollar pinned up on the wall, but like you were after the people whose dollar was pinned up on the wall.
Yes. It's 8 seats. There was a couple in the corner, and then we sat at the opposite corner, which we're like, wait, we want to be like closer to the action.
Yeah.
We sequester ourselves in the corner, and the chef is like doing all the shit over here. As soon as we get up to walk over, 2 more people walk in. They take the seats. So like, all right, fucking never mind. Whatever, at the corner. This was a very good experience.
Oh, yeah? You highly recommend it?
I think that the rumors around Scarr doing omakase, and obviously he's not doing the food himself. There's a chef from Hokkaido, Japan. I forget his name.
Shohei
People were
Ohtani.
very incredulous. I feel like that Scarr could do sushi, which obviously there's an element of fucking racism and just haters out there.
Yeah, for
This
sure.
fucking slapped.
Which he invites, by the way, I think.
Sure, but it's also oh, what does a Dominican guy from the Bronx know about omakase? It's well, obviously
Right,
you're gonna
right,
think that because that's just
Racism.
bigoted.
Yeah.
Um,
That's systemic racism.
dude. Well, there was Scarr ass music playing in the background, aka just 90s and 2000s hip hop, which was
Okay.
weird. I don't know. The whole experience. Okay. 17 courses.
Woo!
It's not a crazy price point, but it's definitely treat yourself.
Mhm.
If you throw a bazaar and make thousands of dollars in
Not
a day.
about the money.
It's not about the money. It's about what you can buy with the money, which is omakase and a night out with your friends. Get the
True.
sake pairing. Definitely highly recommend that. This was fucking really, and for it being night one, it was so dialed in that even if there were any gaps or inconsistencies, and Scarr was yo, let me know your honest opinion.
Okay.
And I let him know my honest opinion about a bunch of stuff. And he's I agree with that. He's oh, I didn't even realize that.
Are you an omakase poppy normally where you indulge in this kind of cuisine?
Not really, because you either have
I
the
do not.
sub 100 ones, right, which are generally
Garbage.
just kind of garbaggio. Then you have the 200 plus ones
Mhm.
where it's that's a little rich for my blood.
Sure.
And those 200 plus ones are in New York are very serious, pretentious,
I don't like that.
stuffy, or it's finance bros, which I don't want that. Where it's Scarr's 165 for the 17 courses. That's what
Okay.
it is. I don't know if I said the price.
No.
And the $75 pairing, that's right in this kind of middle spot where it's you're obviously it's a lot of money.
That's a lane that needs to be filled in the city, presumably. And
It's
he's filling
special.
it.
It's special. Treat yourself. Treat your
Anniversary, birthday, your
Yeah.
boy's in town, your girl's in town, whatever.
Yeah.
Or they, them's in town.
Exactly, bro.
They's, them's town boys. I don't know what I was going with that.
No.
Fucking had no brain power.
I don't know what I'm saying here, but it was not pretentious. It was not stuffy. It was a lot of fun. The chef I think it was literally his first night, so I think that he kind of loosened up a little bit. He was kind of not cheesing up in a theatrical way with the crowd, but he was fuck it. This one dude, black dude, was wearing a shirt that said Japan respects Black Lives Matter.
What a crazy shirt to wear.
Yeah, this black dude's
Just
wearing that.
generally, let alone tonight.
And the chef
tonight
was,
one
the
of
chef,
the omakase opening.
the
Oh
chef
my
was
God.
yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, my lord.
While Redman is playing,
Yeah, dude.
it was kind of weird
While
to be
the
in,
Rock Wilder is blasting.
it was kind of weird to be in the back of Scarr's and not be eating pizza. I will say that, but it was fucking
of
good. It
the
was,
17 courses.
Yes.
What was the standout?
I think there was a sea eel. Was so fucking creamy, melted in your mouth. The miso soup was fucking gas.
Nice.
There was
Love a good miso soup.
There was a lot of tuna. I said that Scar's there's a lot of tuna. But there's a hand roll that was otoro with uni on top. That was just
Ooh.
decadent.
Yeah. Not a big uni guy, but that sounds like it could be fucking real tasty.
I'm a big uni guy. Not gonna lie, we did have to pop around the corner to, I mean, the joke is oh, and then you get sliced across the street because
because you're still hungry. That's the omakase
I mean,
thing. Yeah,
I could have gone to bed and been satisfied, but I was
Right.
all right, I could, let's go to Servo's and get some shrimp heads.
Let's top it off with the dessert, a final
Yeah.
course of shrimp heads.
Yeah,
Those are good shrimp heads, though. Maybe arguably the best in the city.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I could eat so good.
A
Anyway,
billion of them.
I did not mention to Scarr that Portnoy is back to beefing with us, which I guess kind of stems from the Scarr episode we did, where the
Yep.
clip on TikTok that's going crazy is him being I don't fuck with Portnoy. I don't
Yep.
I don't care about him rating me, whatever. I just do not give a fuck.
And there was some follow-up there where Scarr and I think some of his homies also aired out, an infographic about, Portnoy being a piece of shit ahead of the Barstool Pizza Fest or whatever that Scar's in that clip is talking about turning down.
Yeah.
And him being they're harassing me in the DMs, whatever. And
So-
we're not here to debate, is 7.7 a good score or anything like that. We're here to talk about Portnoy was on Barstool Radio, and we got name dropped in maybe the funniest, most Portnoy way possible.
I know.
He referred to us as those two hippies.
Well, that tried to do the fashion thing. I guess there's a podcast that is now no longer on Barstool.
Would you
because
like me to
they tried
explain?
Yeah, please.
So there was a pod called Mean Girls that was beefing with a lot of people internally.
Is this one that's like, girls, like, what's your red flag for a boy? Like,
yeah, they went viral for like not knowing what dinosaurs were or something. That's like, whatever. They're like whatever's like the successor to Call Her Daddy. They obviously are trying to, manufacture another kind of viral girly pod. And I guess there was some beef. So these women did not have their contract renewed, and they were talking on Barstool Radio, which I believe is like KFC's show or something, about IP. And when IP comes up, the first name is Call Her Daddy, and the second name is the two hippies. Do you think he meant to say yuppies?
I think he meant to say hipsters.
Hipsters.
Because he called us like the hipster pod.
Yeah. We were always
when we
misgendered at
start.
Barstool
Yeah.
as hipsters. When we're like, hipsters, even back when we were on Barstool, hipsters didn't exist anymore.
No.
They were as extinct as dinosaurs, which are real.
Are they? What are they?
What do you think? It's the devil?
David Lay, the co-founder, designer of Maiden Name, which is a brand that we love. He replied on, because we tweeted just like rent free, which
that was you.
It was.
I'm not taking credit for that.
And then you're like, oh, what if we follow up with another couple? I'm like, no.
Well, because there's and then shout out like Feidelberg and some other people who were like, oh, you mean like James and Lawrence or Jimmy and Larry, whatever they said of failing upwards. Like, it was nice to actually then get the recognition, because if that hadn't happened, we might have never even seen this. Like, this then eventually came across our desk. How many times did it get sent to? I got about like 1,000 messages.
Max
about
was
this.
the first.
Yeah.
And then, but he only sent us the one part where he's like, "Oh yeah, those two hippies."
Yeah.
And then David Lay was like, "I think he meant to say another word, maybe a word that started with an F." But,
Oh,
that's what I was.
way,
gleaned from his
way.
tweet. Yeah, I don't know.
One of the guys that's like in the crew of sycophants that's like gassing Dave up on Barstool Radio is a gay man, Gay Pat.
Oh, that's right, Gay Pat.
Yeah.
He's a homie.
Yeah, who again also correctly identified. He's like, "Oh, failing upwards." The fashion podcast.
Okay, so then he's like, "Oh yeah, those two fucking," and then they talk about like the hot mic moment.
Yep.
And then Portnoy's
Justified.
like, and then so that's the clip that Max sent us. Then someone sent us like the full thing,
The follow up.
where he continues to be like, those two hippies, maybe you meant to say a word that started with an F. They invited me back on the show. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Kevin was incredulous.
And it's like, yeah, we did, bro. And we also talked about this already. But then Portnoy tries to like flip it. And there's a moment where his like you can see like a smirk on his face when he tells the lie, which is that we pussied out of it, and he calls us pussies.
Yes, he did, which was awesome.
The
best guy to get called a pussy by, Dave Portnoy, El
know.
Presidente for sure.
Yeah,
He's
careful because he might fucking Jeff Bagwell stance and wrap a leash around you.
To me, this is Portnoy spin zone. We got pulled into the spin zone inadvertently, and we got spun.
I see where he's coming.
He spun the block on Barstool Radio.
I see where he's coming from. Where it's like he was like, "Yo, have Scarr on so that I can have a showdown with him on your podcast." And we're like, "No, but do you want to come on the podcast?" And then he's like, "These guys pussied out," and they're like, "Oh no, we're not gonna do that." But like,
spin zone aside, until this clip, I never actually thought that his suggestion. His production suggestion was actually a serious one.
Well, it's Trumpian in that it's like he sets up an impossible to execute scenario, and it's like, oh, you're fucking pussies for not doing that. It's like,
yeah.
What?
I mean, I don't know about impossible, but just one that we don't want to do that.
No.
The pod is about us. I've said this before. It's like we want Dave on so we can have a conversation with Dave, just like we had a conversation with Scarr.
Yeah.
And both of them are allowed to talk as much shit as they want in a vacuum, as long as we're there and we can interrupt you to our heart's content.
But it was great because it is like we clearly are in his head rent free.
Well,
come on, dude. That is
rent free enough where he thinks we were hippies and didn't remember the name of the show.
No, rent free enough where he is bringing us up when it talks about IP and like and can relate a story that he until now has never really publicly ever mentioned.
Yeah,
maybe one at a time, and then we'll bring up like an email correspondence from like months ago.
No, it was not that long ago.
It was. Let me pull it up. It was from when he bought it back.
Okay. Right, which was
at
maybe
this point was maybe like a month ago.
Maybe 3 weeks ago. Yeah, whatever. Neither here nor there. I will say it's
August 14th, so it was over 5 weeks ago.
A month ago, yeah. No, it was what a fucking treat from the fucking viral president himself. Just a fucking win for me. I don't know how you feel, but like say what you want about him, puts asses in seats. Getting mentioned in a positive or negative light just then gives us this content that we can talk about on here, that we can put on the fucking timeline, and that people just love. Either people like love to side with like the underdogs in this battle because we would be punching up when it comes to versing Portnoy, or people then love to dunk on us as like, you know, these pathetic losers that blew the shot to be on Barstool. You guys fucking blew it. You're idiots. It's like, okay, sure. Like, just I'll take the engagement either way, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
And yeah, you wanted to follow up with the second clip. I was like, dude.
Yeah. The hot mic shit is always funny because
let it rest.
You know, it's been so long since Chef Manslaughter the pod that it's like, damn, I forgot like how embarrassing of a moment that was. But it's good to know that
also, there's no
El Presidente never forgets. Big grudge guy.
And let's be clear, there was never any chance that he was going to let us walk with the IP like he claims he's going to do.
Yeah.
But no, fuck. What was I going to say? Who caught the most hate was the three guys off to the side, Feidelberg, Gay Pat,
and Tommy Smokes.
Where in the editing, they were like, boss man, cut to these three chuckle fucks that were just like,
shout out Feidelberg.
Yeah, shout out all three of them, I guess. I don't know Tommy Smokes like that. But
neither do I.
I used to see Gay Pat all the time at a bar in South Williamsburg. But
what bar was that?
Freehold.
Oh, no, I was gonna
grim place.
Not a gay bar.
No, not a gay
just
bar.
A bar.
Just a bar.
But not a bar.
Not a bar.
But a
not
bar.
the A bar.
Right, a bar.
Right. A bar.
Big week for the boys. And that
was a lot of fun. And when
that was a highlight, dude.
But a lot of people were just like, yo, look at these fucking sycophantic chuckle fucks. They're just like, they're spawned in a lab, just like chuckle at their boss's quips.
Yeah, I ran into Feidelberg during Fashion Week or at the Metalwood
Fashion
Week? The Metalwood Del Toro thing, because he's fully Del Toro pilled. I think he's either going or when is the Ryder Cup? He's like going with them to Rome.
Nice.
But it was cool to tap in, and he was.
Was it after that clip? Yeah, it must have been.
No, it was before. It was before. So unfortunately, we couldn't rap about that. But I don't know. He seems to be like he's a big supporter. So shout out to Feidelberg.
Speaking of Fashion Week, it did wrap. We did both start it and end it with the Throwing Fits
grand opening, grand closing.
New York Fashion Week kickoff at Parcel with Basic Space and the Bazaar just a few days ago. But real quick, so we had like the tail end of it is obviously when like shit heats up and when like you do say the best for last with Fashion Week. We had ourselves quite a busy end of the week there, buddy.
Yeah.
Started off with Willie Chavaria. I mean, there's a bunch of other shit. Like, I got hit by a car. There was, like, some other shows here and there.
My parents visited me in Brooklyn and fell in love with the magic of the borough.
I saw Connor McKnight and had to leave in 4 minutes because it was so hot.
My other bodega guy now thinks I'm famous as well because I had a fucking fan run in with his architect.
I don't think anyone cares about that.
No, I know. But anyway, so I'm saying, I thought we were just naming things we're not talking about.
Willie Chavaria, which is a show that was, like, he
rocks.
He's a legend. He's always been like kind of like a New York, like a very strong, strong brand at Fashion Week and just New York in general. And somebody from his PR team had reached out a few weeks ago and they're like, "Oh my God, we love you guys. We'd love to have you there." Blah 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 blah.
I haven't been to a Willie show since Complex, so it was nice to kind of be back in the fold with that one.
We pull up. Shout out Amy Choi. She's working the show. She gets us in. I think that we weren't. We didn't look like the accountants just yet.
No, that was later.
But it was clear that these fucking
there's like
these straightos.
Willie is somewhere between like queer, super queer downtown, and then like still like there was menswear guys know Willie. I feel like at least like from menswear guys of a certain age.
Fair enough.
So we're kind of in the middle.
And we had Luar after that as well. So we were just like, okay, so it's in the lobby of the Woolworth building. This is not. Just describe what's happening. I think that the ACs were turned off or broken or don't exist because that building went up in like 1920.
Yeah, pre-war.
It was, and we were sitting in the very back. We were in the fucking slums.
In the pit. We're right by the pit.
Right by the pit, right by, the spotlights are on. It's a low ceiling, so like all the heat is trapped. It was fucking awfully hot in there.
Yeah, our boy Ayo from Nike, who's sitting behind us randomly, like has it, and I believe you posted this picture. Yes. The real drip. You were just completely saturated.
Well, so I was wearing a white shirt.
That's why you wear a pleaser, baby. That's what I'm telling you.
I was wearing a white shirt, Arlagace, raw hem, if you know, you know, type shit. And there's a moment where I'm just like, oh shit, like you can see through my.
Bro,
I was like, there was a puddle of sweat just like on like in between like whatever fucking clumps of body. And then just like pressed against my shirt. I'm like, oh shit, you can like see through my whole shit.
Yeah, you were fucking.
And
you were a mess, bro.
I feel like drop sweating. This guy next to me took pity on me. He had a portable fan. He's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, do you want to borrow this?" I'm
Yeah,
just
those
like,
are
"Yes,
awesome.
thank you."
Jenna's been a big fan of those. They're like, I think they're Korean portable fans. They're fucking. I highly recommend them. They're fucking awesome for the subway.
It was bad. There was a moment where I was like, "What would happen if I just like got up and walked out?" Like,
Well,
like before the show started, I was like, "What?" Like everyone's seated, everyone's just waiting. I was like, "What would happen if I just got up and fucking got the fuck out of here?"
like if you could figure out how to get out of there, because there seemed to be a little issue with the male models and the route they were supposed to take. And again, we're not shitting on the show. It was a beautiful show. It was definitely, I think, a highlight of Fashion Week, and Willie did an amazing job. But we're just describing things that happened. I believe 7 out of, let's say, 50.
Let's say out of 100.
I mean, there was a lot of looks. I don't know if it was one of those things where like a model would then change into a second look and come back out.
I don't think so.
But by our count, 7 dudes just completely
girls and girls.
Was there? Oh, it was girls,
Yeah,
girls and guys.
Mixed bag.
Because I would say like, hey, this just proves that male models are the dumbest of the dumb. But I think these were street casted homies who were unfortunately
it was a mix.
out of their element.
It was a mix. It was a bit of a mix.
Yeah,
and
I'm not here to shame them, but
it was confusing. And like, look, New York Fashion Week, like models, oh, their jobs are so easy. No, their jobs are tough. They're like they're running around. They're running around all fucking like running around. You know, you see the same models walking every show. So the course was very labyrinthian.
The route
in that it was like
was superb.
you come down the stairs. You walk straight, like you walk around the whole lobby of the Woolworth building, which again used to be like the tallest building in the world, so it's a big footprint.
Circuitous?
By the time they get it's circuitous. By the time they get to us, what they're meant to do is go around the outer edge of the room, walk out of the room down this one hallway where it dead ends, come back, and then go like down these stairs.
It needed to be a loop, and it wasn't a loop. That's
a lot
the
of people
problem.
came in, and they would enter the room.
Yeah.
They'd hit side 1, side 2, side 3 of our back room, and instead of continuing down the dead end hallway and then returning, they would just go straight into the stairs. So the people that were sitting in this like dead end hallway,
A third of the crowd, probably.
maybe like
A fourth, quarter.
maybe like a fifth. It was a big fucking venue.
It
and
was.
like
You're right.
Yeah, and it was a short hallway.
But that final stretch.
That final stretch, they were like, "Yo, where the looks at? Like,
they missed.
where the looks at?"
They missed a few of the looks.
Yeah, and they and like the people sitting at the entrance of that dead end hallway, they could see what was happening.
Right.
But a lot of people that were at the end of the hallway couldn't see that models just enter the room and just go down the stairs and just like not even like walk past.
Just
them.
completely disregard that portion of the room, and it's tough. And again,
And then like our you know, I don't know if it was just like heat fever. From fucking melting, but like our room was like all a titter. People were just like laughing, like kind of snickering anytime a model would just go down the stairs, just skip his leg.
Just a whole portion of the crowd delirious with hay fever, just like keeping track. It was almost like, we had like a clicker going, and unfortunately, you know, the first one happens, okay. Second one, you're like, oh, we could have a problem. 3's a trend, and then topped out at 7 guys and girls. Just listen, man, I get it if it's your first rodeo, if you were street casted, because you just have the look. And it's your first ever big show. I understand it can be confusing, can be tough, but you know what? We do our best, but there's always room to do better. Whether you're a podcaster,
That's why I need to cast
talking gibberish week after week.
That's why I need to cast us in the next show.
Or a male model,
William.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then finally the show wrapped. I say finally because it wasn't very long.
Yeah.
And like let's get the fuck out of here. And because we're in the back, it's like, oh my god, it's gonna take 45 minutes to exit this like very well-attended show.
But it could turn out to be a blessing.
It turned out to be a blessing because we cut out the side exit and we're in the midst of
follow those stallions.
We were in Chicastan, baby. It was fucking. We were directed behind the Clermont Twins, and when I say directed behind, I mean it's like a fire truck. Keep 200 feet back.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that ass is fucking the FTNY.
Objects in the rear view are smaller than they appear.
But what's funny?
That's too much to handle.
The Clermont Twins, like. Their photographer, their like personal photographer, instead of being in front of them and like taking their photos, like as they're walking towards them and like from the front, their personal photographer chills behind them.
Perfect.
And was like arms out, like we couldn't get past him because he's like, hold up, I need to pause here and wait while they walk in front of me, and then I just snap their asses that are spilling out the top of their pants.
I think, it was a weird look where it was like extra. Well, I guess a low-rise leather pant on them is like we're talking subterranean.
Yeah,
you know,
sub cheek,
just a third of the top of the cheek out. You could intentionally see the thongs being swallowed, like being their underwear holding on for dear life. And for whatever reason, they both decided to somehow they thought they could fit, and they miraculously did, into one revolving door.
Oh, I didn't even
both
catch
of them,
that.
and that's why this dude, he fucking backed up the photographer and literally smashed right into me so he could fucking capture the robust bottoms, dude.
Yeah, before they
As they made an eclipse around the fucking
before
sun,
they
dude.
disappear over the horizon like the sunset.
Yeah, dude.
Like 4 sun settings.
Yeah, dude. It's like Star Wars. It's the moon. It's the suns or the whatever. The moon's on Tatooine,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Fucking 4, a quattro, no Audi.
So my shirt was literally soaked through. So it was like, yo, Lawrence, like we have to go back to my apartment.
Yeah, we had to bounce.
And so I can change. Like I can't go to Loire like this. And luckily it was in Bushwick, and like my crib was kind of in between where we were and where we needed to be. Pull to Loire. That's Granny. That's our bestie. We're his strays.
Some drama there
This
that we
was
don't need
like-
to get into, but shout out to Zelia Banks. We'd love to have you on the show if you
I
ever
didn't
hear
know-
this.
I didn't know Gunna was in attendance. That's
Same.
cool.
Well, I mean, I don't want to throw us under the bus, but if you saw us standing at Loire, no, you didn't.
There you go. Thank you. I feel like I'm underneath the Clermont Twins.
We
Also were at the show.
But we were standing with A$AP Rocky's creative director when Don't Be Dumb.
We just threw him under the bus.
When the Don't Be Dumb fucking press cycle starts, just know that the ask is out and probably nothing will ever come of it. But at least you know we tried.
Yeah. I don't know. It was cool to see him, like, it was cool to get the timing of potting with him a few weeks ago and knowing that he's ramping up to this and just, like, now, like, obviously
See the fruits of his labor.
watching everything, having a better understanding of, like, his psyche and his, like, approach and his, like, mentality, and then seeing it, the fruits of his labor just, like, unveil themselves on the runway. For me, though, whenever I'm at, like, rarely at, like, a very, like, queer, cool guy, esoteric, avant-garde fashion show where it's like heavy industrial music.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I fucking love this. It took everything in me not to like Shazam what was going on. And obviously the music was made like for the show by this guy Gatekeeper. If you do want to like check him out, although the music,
what a hard name too.
the music that's out there is not necessarily the music that was on the Loire runway.
Yeah.
But I was like, yo, I could fucking rave. And then very clearly I cannot and don't want to actually do that.
Yeah, you and I are more ragers and ravers, meaning like we can go hard for X amount of time, but like in terms of like a marathon rave, well, and sometimes there's marathons that we sprint through. Listen, performance enhancing drugs always help, whether it's a sprint or a marathon you're sprinting all the way through. Him taking his big bow and like being there for us to again witness, like I said, the fruits of his labor after potting with him, and to see him like cry tears of joy was actually like a beautiful, magical moment.
Yeah, and you have to strategically zoom in so it doesn't look like you're standing, so you're at least like in second row.
You try.
So I did that, and that was cool.
Same.
There's a funny moment at the so the after party, very conveniently, thank you, Raul, was just on the rooftop venue, which I was like, all right, I'll have one drink and then I'm bouncing.
Right.
Because that was Wednesday, and then we had like all the shit leading up to the Bazaar.
Do we say who's on the pod tomorrow?
Leon Bridges.
Leon Bridges. What a chill fight when we had a pretty drunk hang, which was a good time.
Some of us were drunk, not all of us.
Me and Leon.
Well, I don't know. Like
me and Leon were drinking.
Yeah, I don't. We can't. We're not going to say anything for him. I know you love talking about how much you party. Like we're not going to say anything about him or like what he was going through.
No,
'cause we don't know.
We were having a great fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, just a chill guy. Can't believe he's A-list, and you think
He was cool and he was having
you
a great
expect
time.
maybe one
and,
thing
like,
and he's another thing was awesome.
he was guffawing at some of our jokes, so it was cool. It was cool, and also the sunglasses he blessed us with are fire.
Oh, dude, I haven't.
We were
taken
wearing them
off.
the next day at Willie and. Well, I didn't. I left them here because I was like, I'm not wearing sunglasses at Loire. I'm sure you were wearing them inside, looking real cool.
Absolutely. That's gonna be. Oh, that's my new thing, dude. After seeing like Leon just wear after seeing Leon wear sunglasses inside, like perpetually, I'm like, yeah, I think this is gonna be my move now.
Yeah, and
since he blesses with the good Vedas, bro.
That's my new thing to make fun of you now.
What, sunglasses inside?
Yeah, like
In
too
for
much
pictures,
so.
definitely for pictures.
You
look better. Everyone
course.
looks better.
You cover
Everyone
your-
looks cooler. That's the
you
whole
cover your
point. But
face.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a funny moment at the rooftop after party where I see my boy Jesse Hudnut, old college friend, been working. He was the first buyer at OC. He worked at Trebien. We've sang his praises all the time.
Yep.
He's one of these guys that like we actually do find like very influential in terms of influencing our own personal style. There was a moment where I'm like, oh, Jesse. I walk up to him, and like moth to a flame, the three other straights. The three other straight men that are at the show.
Strays.
No, just straights. me, you, Robbie, and Ross Scarano
Oh yeah.
all of a sudden just like surround him, and I can tell he's like, why the fuck am I surrounded by like the only straight guys here? Like, why are the accountants just like circling me?
We're here to fucking check in on the books.
And I felt bad, and I was like, oh man, yeah, like all right, I'll see you later, but get out of here.
You were wearing the same exact shoes as him, the shoes that he influenced you into buying.
Yeah,
or not buying, influenced you into asking for free.
yes, which got Hunter Abrams was wearing the same ones that Willie.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were a popular shoe. I saw them a lot over the course of the week.
The Martine Rose shocks for
Yes.
anyone at home is looking to get their witch toes on.
I was like, Jesse, how do I walk in these
yeah,
heels, bro?
fucking high heels for men, dude. We've said it before.
So
So
anyway,
you're saying we were out of place? I mean, that was another one where like
not out of place. It was just like we were like,
I dipped.
but also I think that
I had
we
a
like,
drink and a cig and dipped.
we clustered, and it's like when there's like 4 straight dudes at the queer fashion party clustered, then it's
Yeah.
like, yo guys, like come on, we got to disperse.
Yeah,
What are you
luckily,
doing here?
luckily it was dark on the roof, so I don't know if anyone else noticed that besides you. But that is a great point. The only straight guys were all kind of just chilling in one area, which is, I don't know, just maybe sounds more homophobic than it actually is because we're not at all. But interesting. We're like, stay close.
Watch your
It's
six.
it's what was it when like the Romans would like do the
phalanx.
the tortu? What is it called?
The phalanx, bro.
Nah, but there's the Latin term for tortoise because that's what they
Oh.
resembled with the fucking shields. We're like, all right, let's get together.
Tortuga.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's something like that, dude. Straight up.
All right, just continuing on with the fucking the recap of shit we did. Yo, the Nike dinner we went to the next day. This was like crazy. So Nike, I'm sure everyone's seen at this point, they took over the Plaza at Lincoln Center with a basketball court for a 2-day tournament. But the night before, they had like an 80-person dinner.
Yeah.
Where it was like a funny mix of like sneaker people.
Yeah. Me and you.
Who you could tell.
Yeah.
Well, there's like sneaker people and fashion people, right?
Yeah.
And it's like sneaker people like had like the very rare expensive shoes on, dressed like shit. And then it was like me and you, where it's like
I wore
you were
loafers.
wearing loafers. I wore what did I wear? Oh, I wore like the Cortez like 97s.
Yeah.
But then like
95s.
fashiony shit, 95, sorry. But then you had like sneakerheads in like skinny jeans and like t-shirts that their mom bought them.
And then you have Jason Kidd, Scottie Pippen, Matt Henson, Stylist to the Stars, our old coworker,
Matthew
old friend.
Henson.
What did I say? Matt Henson?
He prefers Matthew.
Oh, excuse me. Mr. Henson was there.
Maybe that's why he hates you.
I mean, dude. Anyway, maybe honestly, it's possible. A lot of
But you
people
had
do.
so I was
yeah.
like, we look at the seating chart ahead of time, like just walking around the table, and I was like, oh shit, Scottie Pippen sitting 2 seats
No,
away
you
from
said
me.
it was S. Pippen, and you're like, who's
No, it's Scottie P.
Oh, Scottie P. And
So I was
that
like,
can only be one guy.
It's got to be Scottie Pippen, right?
Mr. Uptempo.
And then we're chilling like the cocktail hour ahead of time, and who strolls in but Scottie P.
Yeah, dude.
Mr. Pippen. Don't mention Future.
Yeah.
And
Whatever you do.
but then like his people somehow moved his shit, so he's like sitting actually like 20 seats away from us. And Alyssa Vingen was like, yo, texting us like, yo, I'm sitting across from Scottie Pippen. What do I say?
Yeah, what do I even mention this guy?
And you were like,
yeah, I said don't mention Future. That's it. That's
don't
all
mention
you gotta do.
Future.
That's all you gotta do.
Don't mention Michael Jordan.
Yeah, don't even drop a Gucci flip flop. Could hear that shit. Like
But you had your own little Scottie P.
Oh yeah, and this is just a funny generational thing. But there were porta potties for the like outside for when the Nike cocktail party was happening towards this like performance space and a bunch of like stuff they had on display. But then you have the proper Lincoln Center lobby genderless bathrooms.
Gender neutral.
I'm trying to remember exactly what they call them, but there was a big Nike crowd that went down to the lobby, and I witnessed Scottie Pippen just have to ask what the whole deal was and what to do because he was confused about the genderless bathroom situation, which like I understand because like you are like wait men like you because your initial reaction I understand is you're looking for men's and women's, but it's a brand new world and yeah for men of a certain age you gotta like whoa wait a second you might need to ask a friend to kind of direct you.
Did he end up going into the bathroom?
Yeah.
Or was like, I don't want to.
listen,
I don't want to shit in front of a woman.
No. He ended up. No, of course, Scottie Pippen is a great guy. He had no issues. He was just confused about just the logistics, not like it wasn't anything like that. It was just like, wait a second. It wasn't one
Bud
of those-
Light ass journals. Like hell no.
No. I don't want to get in trouble for this. He just wasn't. He didn't know what to do. He's just confused because he was looking for a men's and women's, but it was.
He's from the generation that considers eating pussy gay. Right?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to tap in Larsa.
Or are you scared? Are you scared this is gonna get clipped out and you're gonna get go viral for? And Scotty P is gonna have to be like, "Yo, bro, what the fuck? Oh, we gotta clear things up."
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it was hilarious to just watch him have to ask Dion Point for a pointer. Ironically enough, and it was like, "No, Scotty, we're all in here. It's great. We're all in here. All of us.
Yeah.
We're all in here. It's a party."
The big reason why, and I don't think we understood what exactly we were walking into until we got there, and we were just like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "No, Lawrence, we have to go because the food is being done by Chef Kwame Onwachi
Of Tatiana's.
who does Tatiana by Kwame Onwachi in Lincoln Center." I was like, this dude is the real deal. It was just ranked like #1 best restaurant in New York City by the New York Times. He's been, I believe, he's been a judge on Top Chef for a few seasons now.
Didn't he win Top Chef?
I don't know if he won. I'll get back to you on that.
But
I
he's
was like,
Top Shelf affiliated.
I was like, we have to go.
Top Chef affiliated.
We have to go because like this is literally the only chance like either of us is gonna ever have to eat his food. Although
now we know.
I was sitting next to the comms director of Lincoln Center.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, can I get your email so I can get a fucking seat at this restaurant? But I forgot to ask her.
Oh, and then also what I was going to say is that we had no idea that Kwame was best friends with Speedy Mormon, a.k.a. Quick Romney, friend of the fucking program, our old fucking peer at Complex. So we kind of we ended up
He finished in 6th place, but I think that he was such a star, like a star breakout character,
Yeah.
and I think that his food has garnered a lot of like love and attention after the fact.
Mhm.
That he's now like almost like eclipsed whoever the fucking winner of season 13 was.
Yeah, we had a funny moment where we Speedy introduced us to Chef Kwame before we were leaving, and we hit him with a yes, chef, and that was embarrassing but also hilarious because
We did? I don't remember.
you don't remember that, and your whole thing was
I don't
like,
think I did that.
okay, I think you did, and then the whole thing was you were like, doesn't everyone just say that to you and because of the bear, and you're like, isn't that annoying? And he was like, whatever.
I did not. This didn't happen.
This definitely happened. I'm not. Did I just do it?
I did not
Can
ask.
I scream for both of us,
Bro,
chef.
Maybe because that is very fucking cringe. I did not say that, and I was not drinking at dinners. Like I did not say that, bro. Like
I thought we both were doing it. Maybe I imagined.
No. It's
Anyway,
one of those things where you do something and you're like, oh yeah, that's both of us. I'm like, no, you.
I do not claim this man. The big thing, the big piece of intel, because like
Huge.
You watch The Bear, you see any fucking vintage clips of Bourdain or any of these top chefs, literally and figuratively. They all blast darts. This man is of a new generation where he is an Elf Bar smoker as the #1 chef in New York. And
Hitting it freely, hitting it from the logo.
Yeah, and he just was like, you know what? I recommend my palate any of the mint flavors.
Well, we said as a chef, what flavors do you like? He's like mint.
Yeah, anything mint based.
Electric mint.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, Miami Blue, that booby trap mint, I believe was the term that Speedy used.
The conversation we were having after, you're like, yo, I'm kind of surprised that he blasted an Elf Bar because like, doesn't that fuck up your palate?
Yeah,
I was like,
your shit.
I was like, yeah, but. And then I was like, but if you think of but all chefs smoke, so
That's a
like,
great point, yeah.
which also fucks up your palate. So it's like,
it's just a stress reliever for these guys at a certain point, right?
Yeah, yes, and like I'm sure, yeah, exactly.
And just to get buzzed so you can keep going, dude. Speaking of fucking sprinting through marathons, this guy's life is a fucking movie. Oh, he was fire, bro. His speech that he gave was incredible. This dude is
good. That's what I'm saying. He's like a guy even more.
We need him on the pod.
The food is allegedly phenomenal. What we had was like prepared, pre-prepared for like 80 people mostly. It was still really good.
For a pre-prepared dinner for 80 people, that's like one of the better chicken breasts that I've had. Full stop. All circumstances aside, the dark meat was hitting, the white meat was hitting. Oh, and then the dessert was awesome. Those like fucking little like.
I like the appetizer the most.
All right.
The dessert was a little
the eggplant. You like?
Yeah, the chilled eggplant with like
nice.
like a pepper spread and some mad herbs and nuts. Woo.
Yeah, I would love to sit down proper there and like just really fucking sample it.
That's a fucking. You talked about expensive omakase. That's a fucking splash out meal. So like, get your paper up.
All right.
Maybe name a price.
Maybe if we have him on the pod and I don't scream yes chef in his face or anything like that.
I don't even remember you doing that.
Maybe it was me and Speedy as a joke, or he was egging me on because he knows that
because he knows that as his friend,
it.
He's like, yeah, we're cool, but as the new guy, you just look like an idiot.
Whatever. What are you gonna? Listen, man, you live and you learn.
What are you gonna do?
Again, like I said, every day we just try to do better, guys.
All right, the last thing that we did, kind of close out wrap up Fashion Week before getting to Bazaar Weekend, was our boy Nick Dearl, who name dropped mad times on the pod at this point. He invited us out to the Kaytraminé show out of Brooklyn Mirage, which I've never been to as a venue. I know it's like
because I'm cool.
100 gex, right?
Mm-hmm. 100 grams, baby.
With Nick's colleague, Bradley.
They fucking represent everybody fire. Shout out Nick. Shout out Bradley. Shout out fucking Duncan.
But you didn't recognize the venue until we were like in the crowd. You're like, oh yeah, no, I've been here.
Because when it like the lobby for Kaytraminé was the main floor for Gex. So this was like in terms of like the size of the crowd and like where that potential, whatever group is doing the show, like where their ticket sales are at, changes the layout of Brooklyn Mirage.
Well, I'm glad that they did it outside because like seeing like a throbbing mass of
awesome.
8,000 people rap every single word and like know everything was fucking like. Again, this is just me at concerts. Like I love taking it all in, right? I'm not there like rapping every word. I'm not the fucking main character. I'm just like, yo, this is sick. It's like to see this massive humanity, just going crazy. But what was really astonishing, and I say this like with all humility and genuineness, is that the amount of times we got recognized. And I don't know about you, but like anytime I get like recognized or have to say what up, like at this point I kind of like have it down to a thing. It still gives me a bit of anxiety depending on like where I am in life. But I mean, this is a lot of fun. The amount of times that we got recognized and people coming up and asking for photos, there's never been a more concentrated frequency of like recognition, daps, buying drinks, taking
not at our own
flicking
event,
up
at
some other shit.
Yeah, third
where
party thing. Yeah,
it's weird. Like, it's fucking the Brooklyn Mirage, it's Kaytraminé. There's obviously like
a lot
huge
of factors.
Audience overlap there, but it was kind of. I was like, yo, are we big with gentrifiers? Like, what is going on here?
I don't know, dude. And it felt like not necessarily people or fans of ours that live in Bushwick, but like went to Bushwick for Brooklyn Mirage for this destination show. By the way, if you have the opportunity to see this show, the show is awesome. Yeah. They fucking crush the Kaytraminé set, their solo sets. It was such a good time, and I really do love that album. And again, shout out Nick, who is Aminé's publicist and got him on the show. I loved that he got to witness all that love, because even though it was his birthday, and we were like going out to like celebrate with him, even though like him being at that show is kind of like work, but not work.
No, he's like, yeah, I'm here because I want to be here. I don't have to go to every show. I'm here to be here. As
we like try to continue to milk him to get access to the rest of his client roster, like the fact that he sees the pull that the goddamn motherfucking boys have, the fact that the only podcast that matters is absolutely gripped onto the fucking culture like a fucking damn vice.
Like lips that grip.
Yeah, sure. I don't know where I was going with that. I lost the plot.
Dude, you should have said this You should have said this when we went to the after party, and you left to smoke and couldn't get back in. You should have said this to the bouncer. You're like, bro, I just got recognized like 19 times at Brooklyn Mirage.
Yeah, that would have worked. These motherfuckers, bro. So I leave the club to smoke a cig, and because I didn't go to the designated smoking section, which, like, by the way, wasn't clear at all, I just couldn't get back in. But then at that point, I'm like,
the best.
It's 3:30. I have the Bazaar in less than 24 hours at this point. I should probably go the fuck home.
Time to call it.
Yeah, like we're doing right now.
A fitting end to the last 3 weeks.
We need a vacation, bro. Enjoy Montauk, bro.
Thanks. Yeah, no more. Don't email me until Monday.
Yeah, and Jeff, you can email me. I'm just not going to get back to you regardless.
Well, yeah,
you
don't know how to check your email.
The only good email is an unanswered one.
Chef, take us out.
Bye, guys. Thanks for everything.